Bruce was born on the 14th of May 1943 in Bishopbriggs, Lanarkshire, Scotland, to Betty and Charlie Bruce, musical parents who moved frequently, resulting in the young Bruce attending 14 different schools, ending up at Bellahouston Academy. He began playing jazz bass in his teens and won a scholarship to study cello and musical composition at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama while playing in Jim McHarg's Scotsville Jazzband to support himself. Jack's playing in jazz combos was disapproved by his school and he was forced to leave. After leaving school, he toured Italy playing double bass with the Murray Campbell Big Band. In 1962, Bruce became a member of the London-based band Blues Incorporated. Led by Alexis Korner, in which he played the upright bass. The band also included organist Graham Bond, saxophonist Dick Heckstall Smith, and drummer Ginger Baker. In 1963, the group broke up. In March 1963, Bruce played in the Johnny Burch Octet. Bruce would go on to form the Graham Bond Quartet with Bond, Baker, and guitarist John McLaughlin. They played an eclectic range of music genres including bebop, blues, and rhythm and blues. As a result of session work, Bruce switched from the upright bass to the electric bass guitar. The move to electric bass happened as McLaughlin was dropped from the band. He was replaced by Heckstall Smith on saxophone, and the band pursued a more concise R&B sound and changed their name to the Graham Bond Organization. The group released 2 studio albums and several singles but were not commercially successful. In short, in July 1966, Bruce, Eric Clapton and Ginger Baker founded the power trio Cream, which gained international recognition playing blues, rock and jazz inflected rock music. Bruce either penned or co-penned the majority of the band's tunes and sang most of the lead vocals, with Clapton backing him up and eventually assuming some leads himself. With his Gibson EB or Fender VI electric basses, Bruce became one of the most famous bassists in rock-winning musicians polls and influencing the next generation of bassists such as Sting, Jim Shaw, Geddy Lee, Geezer Butler, and Jeff Berlin. Bruce co-wrote most of Cream's single releases with lyricist Pete Brown, including the hits Sunshine of Your Love, White Room, and I Feel Free, and Cream broke up in 1968. Collaborative efforts with musicians in many genres, hard rock, jazz, blues, R&B, fusion, avant-garde, world music, third stream, classical continued as a theme of Bruce's career. Alongside these, he produced a long line of highly regarded solo albums. In contrast to his collaborative works, the solo albums usually maintain a common theme: melodic songs with a complex musical structure, songs with lyrics frequently penned by Pete Brown and a core band of world-class musicians. This structure was loosened on his live solo albums and DVDs, where extended improvisations similar to those employed by Cream in live performance were sometimes still used. In 1976, Bruce formed a new band, the Jack Bruce Band, with drummer Simon Phillips and keyboardist Tony Hymas. The group recorded an album called How's Tricks. A world tour followed, but the album was a commercial failure. The follow-up album, Jet Set Jewel, was rejected at the time by Bruce's record label RSO as not being marketable, and RSO ultimately dropped Bruce from their roster. In 1979, he toured with members from the Mahavishnu Orchestra, reuniting him with John McLaughlin and introducing him to drummer Billy Cobham. In 1981, Bruce collaborated with guitarist Robin Trower and released 2 power trio albums, BLT and Truce, the first of which was a minor hit in the US. He also played for Trevor Rabin on the album Wolf. By 1983, Bruce was no longer contracted to a major record company and released his next solo album, Automatic, on a minor German label, Interchord. A European tour followed to promote the album, enlisting Bruce Gary from the Knack on drums and Sanchez from his 1980 band Jack Bruce and Friends on guitar and keyboards. In 1982, Bruce played with a short-lived ensemble, A Gathering of Minds, composed of Billy Cobham, Alan Holdsworth, Didier Lockwood, and David Sanchez at Montreux. In 1983, Bruce sang on tracks 5 and 6 of the Alan Holdsworth album Road Games. Bruce played at the Montreux Jazz Festival in 1990 and was invited by the Irish blues rock performer Rory Gallagher to perform a couple of songs together on stage. In 1991, he was one of the supporting musicians for Vivian Stanchell's solo show Rawlinson Dog Ends, but quit over a lack of adequate rehearsals. Bruce then began work producing and arranging the soundtrack to the independently produced Scottish film The Slab Boys. The soundtrack album appeared in 1997. In 1997, he returned to touring as a member of Ringo Starr's All-Star Band, which also featured Peter Frampton on guitar. At the gig in Denver, Colorado, The band was joined on stage by Ginger Baker and Bruce. Baker and Frampton played a short set of Cream classics. Bruce continued to tour with Starr through 2000. In short, his first independent CD release live at the Milky Way Amsterdam 2001, featuring the Kweekoland Express, his Latin-based band of the time, was issued in October 2010. The double album received an official worldwide release, distributed by EMI in February 2011. To support this release, Bruce again played 4 dates in London at Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club with the Ronnie Scott's Blues Experience, followed by a further 10 dates across the UK with the band. On the 4th of June 2011, Bruce played a special concert at the Royal Festival Hall in London, which was celebrating its 60th anniversary. The evening celebrated the 50th anniversary of the blues in Great Britain, and Bruce played with his big blues band and special guest Joe Bonamassa. In short, Bruce died of liver disease on the 25th of October 2014 in Sudbury, Suffolk, England, aged 71. He was survived by his wife Margaret and 4 children. His funeral was held in London on the 5th of November 2014 and was attended by Clapton, Baker, and noted musicians. Dozens assembled at the Golders Green Crematorium, paying a last tribute, singing "Morning Has Broken," "Strawberry Fields Forever," and "Theme for an Imaginary Western." Bruce's remains were later cremated and then interred at a private family ceremony on the 31st of December 2014 at the crematorium.